Good morning, Buffalo. You're listening to the Buffalo Podcast. My name is Brian Dudeman. Right now, I'd love to introduce my very lovely co-host, Erin Nicole.
Oh, dude, man, you're so kind. Are you up?
I am definitely up. I am ready to podcast. You up?
Yes, I am Mary Nicole, and I am definitely up and here, excited to have our guest.
Sean C. Sanders.
Sean, what are your titles? What are your hats? What do you do in the Buffalo film community?
Well, mostly filming, obviously acting around the community. I'm a character actor, a creature actor as well. I'm also an artist. I like to paint. I love to draw. Mostly fan art. I do draw. I do other non-fan art stuff too. I mean, I'm a nostalgic nerd, so I love a lot of stuff growing up. I dabble into other little things here and there as well. Like I do a little modeling, here and there. Like themed photo shoots here. But yeah, I'm just out there being creative every day.
You've done cosplay too, right?
Yes, I do cosplays here and there as well. I'm actually working on that actually. I don't do it too often, but I'm trying to like get into that scene.
You've done a great job with that so far. I'm excited to see what you have in the future.
Yeah, I've done a couple so far. I got like Blade. I done like Jack Skellington, kind of like a mashup with that with Kingdom Hearts, one of my favorite video games. I did a little photo shoot with that. I'm working on a Sweet Tooth Twisted Metal one,
Nice.
so that's gonna be cool. And yeah, I always got cool ideas I'm working on.
You watched the Peacock show yet or no?
I have, yes,
Nice.
I enjoyed it.
All right, so now we're going to get into our first segment of the show. This is called Fan Mail. So basically, the way that Fan Mail works is the guests will answer questions that you guys, the audience, send in. That's either through our Facebook or our Instagram at Buffalo You Up. So without further ado, Erin Nicole, will you please ask the first question?
Let's see, this is via Instagram from multiple peeps. Do you have any favorite methods of getting into character?
I like to go and look at different actors that I admire and some of the roles that they play. Depending on the character that I play, I'll kind of like find some inspiration from certain people that played that certain role. Maybe kind of like kind of study how they did it, how they would do it, and kind of put my own spin on it and such.
Who are some actors that you look at?
Well, me as a creature actor, I'm a big fan of Doug Jones. Who did he does a lot of creature work in like Hellboy. He did Ape Sapien. He was Billy Butcherson in Hocus Pocus. But he does so much different creature work. But I also love actors like Johnny Depp. Like he like, does so many different like characters too, and that's what I like to do. I like to do character work as well, and how he gets into the characters too.
Nick, 21, Rochester. I love the collaborations that you've done with Heather Dunham. Who reach out to who, and what are the other mediums that you like to work with?
Well, Heather reached out to me last year, and she was telling me that she has a bunch of poured canvases that she has, and she wanted to kind of give them more, I guess, more character. So she's always been supportive and a fan of like my crossover art that I've done. So we met up. We talked about how we're gonna do this and that, but yeah, she gave me one of her canvases. I drew on it, and she loved it. I loved it, and so we just started doing a lot more. And yeah, and I love her work too. Like her work is awesome.
I agree. What was the first piece you guys did together? Do you remember?
The first piece we did was she did a acrylic pour that looked kind of had like a water feel. At least in my mind, it looked like a water scenery. So I drew Dory from Finding Nemo, and I did Flounder from The Little Mermaid, and kind of had them meeting each other, which is like the theme of my crossover ideas. Always like two people from different movies or TV shows and comics, meeting each other and kind of give you that imagination.
You did a Stitch one too, right?
Oh yeah, I did a couple of Stitch ones too. Yeah, like one where he meets Marvin the Martian. I did one where he's like sitting on the beach, and then you see the the golden snitch from Harry Potter. So whoever's a Disney and Harry Potter fan. So yeah, that was
Heather.
a fun one to do.
She's
And
a huge Harry Potter fan.
yeah, and actually we did one where it's like Stitch and Scooby Doo surfing together on one of collaboration we did on
that one sticks in my head. That's the one that I always think of when I think of like you and Heather's art together. For some reason, that's the one that always pops in my head.
Yeah, that one I really enjoyed doing. Like I said, I really I'm glad she reached out to me too, because it's the first time working with another artist, and I'm glad that she trusted me to do that, and we did some really cool art.
So this one here is from a Big Time Actor. What's the most favorite role you have played so far, and why?
One I played recently that I really enjoyed was my role as the Grim Reaper, and both the horrific evil monsters and the Grim miniseries Final Fracture that I've done with Adam Steiger, and I love it because one, it was a role where I played a character in two different projects. We've seen the Grim Reaper portrayed in so many different portrayal with movies, television, literature. So to put my own spin on that character, I thought was really cool. It kind of be part of that history, of the character.
Cameron 30 Amherst, in your opinion, what is one skill or one trait someone would need to have to be successful in film?
That's a good question. Well, obviously you gotta, have the passion, you gotta have the dedication, and I mean, I won't say the talent as well, but the main thing you always gotta be too is while you're processing it, you want to always, start off like doing different stuff. You want to try to figure out a plan, and really the main thing is, be respectful and stay humble always. Because, don't ever have a big head, about yourself. Respect others, be equal with everyone, too, as you continue that journey.
So that actually is a great segue to the next question. Maddie, 30, Etimal Creek, what's something that motivates you, drives you to keep going?
It's just, I don't know. I just have that passion for it, like to just keep going. I don't know, maybe just because I'm a busy guy. I love to just stay busy all the time. So maybe it's just in my headset. I know a lot of people don't have that, but me, I gotta stay busy. I gotta keep doing stuff, and just I love being creative. Whether it's in film, whether I'm drawing something or just doing something that can like wow people or inspire people mostly.
So this one here is from Film Fan for Life. What's your most favorite production you've worked on so far, and why? And so if you don't have a favorite, you can talk about just something recently you've worked on. Doesn't have to be one of your productions, but any production.
Actually, well, there's two of them. One, we just dropped a trailer for it. We filmed it last summer, Ragdoll Assassin. I know Mark Bogomil, who was on here, my boy, he talked about it, and I'm also involved in that one as well. But it's just the scenario that people working with, and it's always behind the scenes. We work, have fun, and like great ensemble cast. The chemistry we had, at the end of every shoot, we just fall out laughing, just how funny it was. But that was a lot of fun to do, and being on the set of Slap Straight with the Luminary figures, Ray Skilla and David Anderson, what they came up with, the whole slap fighting idea, and being part of that was also really fun and enjoyable.
Definitely have to check that one out. I like their work that they've done. We're going to have one of their frequent collaborators on next week's episode. Ari, next question.
All right. The final question I have is from Filmmaker Forever. And they write, what's your proudest film accomplishment to date?
I would say, really, if I had to put them all together, I'd say like just the fact that I got to like create, stuff and have like a resume and just kind of like look back and see like how far I come to now, and just see like, being able to just create stuff. I feel like that's an accomplishment in itself. I mean, I really just, not just one film, but like really just all together, really.
I like that.
If that makes sense.
It does. You've accomplished a lot.
Yeah, like,
Why not be proud of all of it?
Yeah, like, that's just it. You always got to look back and like, you see like, man, like look back and see how far you come.
Roger, 25, Springville. What movies growing up changed your life the most?
Well, I can name one because going back to like my art that we talked about, one of my favorites growing up, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The idea of like crossover, like you see these different companies coming together, like you see Bugs Bunny and like Mickey Mouse in the same movie. I mean, I just love the movie in general, but that was actually an inspiration for like my cartoon ideas, and I just love drawing that too. I just love the anim. And again, I was blown away by the animation too. Like it made me want to inspire to draw more. And movies like that. Another one I love too. Growing up, I'm very big on like sci-fi stuff. Men in Black is a favorite of mine too. I absolutely adore that movie. I don't know. It's just one of the movies that have an impact. Like Jurassic Park was another one. I love dinosaurs, so I can go on. Like there's so many movies that are just blew me away growing up.
Aaron 20 Depew. What's a funny memory that you have from recent film shoot set?
Funny memory. I remember we were filming a movie with Amir Scalogna film Killers of Killers, and I remember like we filmed it like during winter time, so it was still out. It was outdoors, and I remember the scene I did. My character, I wake up from like being passed out, and I'm walking, and there's a ground. The ground is kind of like icy, so like it's kind of like you could fall through, but it's like a little puddle underneath it. So I'm in the zone. I don't even know like what's going on. So I'm just like walking. Literally, I know my foot goes through like the ice, and my foot is like all covered in like in mud and stuff. But I'm in the zone, so I'm just walking. My foot all heavy walking down. So when he says cut, I'm back to myself, and I'm like, why is my foot so wet and heavy right now? He's like, dude, you just walked in a puddle. I'm like, I did? Like, oh, I must have been that in the zone.
And that will conclude fan mail. Guys, if you want your questions asked, please reach out to us through Buffalo You Up. Brian Dudeman, co-host.
Ari Nicole, as always.
And we'll be back with more. You're listening to the Buffalo You Up podcast. And we're back listening to the Buffalo You Up podcast. My name is Brian Dudeman. Right, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Ari Nicole.
Yes, dude man, I'm happy to be here hosting Buffalo You Up with you. Are you up, dude man?
I am certainly up and ready to podcast. Guest, you up?
I'm all the way up, dude, man.
Nice. All right, so now we're going to jump into our next segment. Ari, you want to do the honors?
So our next segment on the Buffalo You Up podcast is called Plug Yourself. This is where we ask our guests where we might be able to find your work. Do you have any videos that are streaming that we can look up online? Do you have any published works that we might be able to purchase in stores? Are there any DVDs, CDs, etc., that we can find you on? What are your Instagrams and Facebooks? Where in the world is Sean C. Sanders?
Well, you can find me on Facebook. I do have an Instagram as well, both connected. Mostly on Instagram, I'm mostly more affiliated or more social with. I always post stuff that I'm working on, whether it be stuff I did already or stuff that I've got coming up. And I'm also an artist and painter too. I love to draw as well. So you see a lot of my art on there as well. Mostly fan art, and I'm a big nostalgic nerd. So I like a lot of stuff. But yeah, I there's so much going on. Like, I got one of my biggest ones I'm excited for. I got Ombus 2 coming out next summer that I'll be filming, working with Adam Steiger once again. And so I'm excited for that. I'll be playing the big bad guy, the Nemesis, in that. So that's been my first, I would say my first lead role, which I'm really excited for too. As far as other projects got coming up, I do have another, I'm trying to think, I believe Mark was the one that mentioned this one, was Ragdoll Assassin. He mentioned that one on his show, and I'll be involved in that one as well. But yeah,
trailer just came out, right?
Yep. Yeah, actually, the trailer just dropped. Yeah, the trailer just dropped the other day, so you can go on there, go on Vimeo, you can watch the trailer for that. There's no date yet when we're going to release it, but we do plan to have that out by 2024 of next year. But yeah, great ensemble cast, from Buffalo. So I'm excited for that as well. Richard Fish, his film Seven Kills, Three Songs of Banana. We are also involved in that one too. So we filmed that last summer. So I got involved in that one. But yeah, a lot of good projects I got coming out. I could spend the day talking about them, but I know those are the ones I really am excited for. Now, as far as stuff out right now, I did do a horror thriller short called Box Cutter. That's on Vimeo right now. You can watch that. I play a serial killer who interviews a up and comer who like wants to be like him. He wants to like be like a killer basically. So he interviews him. He puts him through like a really big test, and it's like a really like tense like thriller. But and I also got IMDb to like see a lot of my projects too.
Box Cutter was really cool. I saw that at the Buffalo Dreams this year. That was a really fun event. I saw Vicky Estelle Elia, who's a frequent collaborator, so that was a fun project to watch.
Oh yeah, she was very good too. Like everyone did a great job, same with the effects too. Josh McMillan, like he had a good vision for that. Plus, it was a character I've had to play too. I never got to play a character like that, so get to kind of play like Hannibal Lecter, like Norman Bates type of character was really cool as well. Like let's still step out of my regular territory what I'm used to playing.
This was your second year at Buffalo Dreams because last year was Skeleton Xylophone, right?
Yeah. This actually, well, this would have been my third actually because I have been actually the first Buffalo Dreams was my first feature film I did, but that was like back in like 2015, so it's been a while.
And that was a great edition of Plug Yourself. Right now, we're going to jump into our next segment. This one's called A Hero's Journey. So, Sean, I know that you are somebody who has dabbled in acting, art, and just being a totally awesome guy. So, Hero's Journey, where'd you get your start?
Well, drawing I've always did since I was a little kid. I will wake up early in the morning, Saturday morning, and have my bowl of cereal, watch cartoons all the time, and like I said, I love a lot of things, and I was always blown away by the animation, by a lot of the stuff I watched, like especially like actually the animated ones I watched. So I'll get I find like the closest paper I could find, a pen. I just sit there and just draw what I look at. So I kind of kind of self taught myself for the longest time. I took some classes in school, learned some new tricks. I'm still learning some new tricks here and there, but yeah, man. Like after a while, I just love doing it. And to this day, I still love drawing. Like it's a nice hobby to have.
And the journey into acting.
Now acting started out in high school. Like I it was a we did our spring production. I remember doing, and a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to be part of it. And before that, I really had no attention on acting, really, because I love watching movies. I always respected the form of acting, but I never thought really it was for me. So I'm like, but you know what? I'm like, why not? Let me see how it is. Maybe I might like it. Maybe I might not like it. So obviously I did like it. I got the bug. So once I graduated high school, I did a couple of theater community shows around the area. And then eventually in 2014, I got my first foot in the door in the film community. And then one thing led to the other, and I met people and connected, and here I am now.
So you mentioned Adam Steiger. So there's a Grimby coming. How did you get your foot in that door?
I met Adam in 2015 when he was working on his sci-fi comedy Star, and I played one of the henchmen in the movie, the big muscle guy. And then I guess I impressed them because when he came out with Fang, I auditioned for that, and then he wanted me back, and I had like a blast working on Fang as well. And then again, we clicked, we bonded. He knows, like, we had that kind of like that brotherly bond, on set. That he knows that I'm there for like to help him out any way possible. So when Horrific Evil Monsters came up, that's when I played the Grim Reaper came about. And then eventually the Grim miniseries came up as well. And here I am again. We're going to be working once again on Ombus 2, which I'm excited for.
I love watching your work. I see that you're not only dedicated, but you're someone who has lots of energy for the game. And so I feel like that energy is very infectious. Um, so have you always sort of been like I mean you've acted for a very long time, so how do you stay so humble in this stage in your career?
I mean, I'm always learning new things. You know, I always have nothing but respect for people that have the same passion that like I do, and that's always a good thing to have. I mean, and when you're doing like what we do, you know, you always gotta have respect. That's the like real main key. And you know, I don't see myself over anybody. You know, I see myself as equal to everyone that I work with. You know, because we all do the same thing. We all have fun. We love doing this. You know, what we with acting or any form of art. You know, like acting, drawing, painting, anything. You know, I always have respect.
Do you see yourself doing any more future collaborations with future artists?
I mean, I mean, I know me and Heather kind of had like talked about you know doing more stuff, but I would love to do more with her. She's you know I love her work too. I mean as an actress and as a artist as well. I mean, I'm sure you've seen her work. She's you know amazing.
The painting behind you.
Oh, yep. I was like, yeah, I got one. The alien one she did. I got that in my room as well.
Nice.
So
She did a Twitch stream for that, so she did that live in person from the like everybody. That was fun to watch.
right, okay, that's yeah. See, that's cool. I like that. And again, like you know, we're all connected. You know, it's like one big you know community. You know.
You did Buffalo 48 this year, right?
Yep, actually my first ever Buffalo 48, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
What was your team? What was your role? What was the short film about?
Captain Unique Productions was the name of my team, and we had our film we did was called Bed and Breakfast on Acid. It was our genre was dark comedy and let's say weather. I forgot what the term for that one is, but basically is a group of people, a group of strangers stuck inside a bed and breakfast during an acid rain storm, and a bunch of shenanigans happen like while they're indoors. But yeah, I got to play like the husband who owns the bed and breakfast with his wife, and they get greeted with all these like you know random strangers. It's like a little funny stuff here and there.
That was your first one, but you
Yes.
are planning to do more in the future, right?
Oh yeah, I love to do more 48 hours. Like that was a fun experience. Plus the use of improv, you know, in some cases too. It was really fun.
Is that something that you have experience with, or is that like something that you just played around with was improv recently for that?
I would say I plugged into more because I mean I'm so used to like doing stuff like by the script and by the book, but I noticed that improv you can really be more creative when you do that in some cases because sometimes I'll get a script, I'll read something, I'm like I don't know, like I don't get that word, like I don't know that might something I might say. I'm like okay maybe if I improvise the word or you know maybe it might sound a lot better than what my character would say.
And that's going to conclude Hero's Journey. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Brian Dudeman, co-host,
Ari Nicole, as always.
guest.
Sean C. Sanders.
You're listening to the Buffalo Podcast. And we're back listening to the Buffalo Podcast. My name's Brian Dudeman, co-host,
Ari Nicole.
guest.
Sean C. Sanders.
Are you up?
I am, dude, man. So happy to be up in here with you and the guest, working at the Buffalo You Up podcast and having fun.
I agree. Ari, I love being able to do this with you every episode. You're someone whose opinion I value and I love your input.
Ditto.
And Sean, you up?
I am up.
Like I said, you are somebody who I admire because you're always humble. You've been doing this for a very long time, but you don't let that get to your head. And you've been nothing but super nice to me ever since I met you at Buffalo Dreams. And your art is incredible.
Yes, definitely love your cartoons. And perhaps maybe I could commission you to draw my cats as cartoons.
I mean, I'll be up for that. I mean, I love cartooning, so I mean, I'll definitely be up for that.
I'll send you pictures of my 5 boys and maybe like a cartoon family portrait. That would be fun.
I mean, if you like painting or marker, ink, whatever, you know, I'll do it.
So we'll definitely talk about that.
Definitely.
All right, so now this is the last segment. This is final thoughts. So this is where we get your thoughts on being on this podcast and any future advice you give to future guests who are going to be in that seat. Final thoughts.
I was like, well, this was actually my first podcast that I got to be a part of, so I'm honored that it was with YouTube. So and also appreciate what YouTube do for the Buffalo community, for artists like me who are out here doing what we do every day, and working, inspiring, just appreciate it a lot. And for future guests, just be yourself, be cool, be chill. Like I said, stay humble, respectful. Be ready to talk about, yourself.
So this is the part now where we give the guest an opportunity to ask either Ari or myself a question.
So since we're going down the nostalgic lane, I got a question for both the is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, mayonnaise is not an instrument, and horseradish is not an instrument either.
I think that was actually perfect timing. That joke. Follow the crickets because that was perfect timing. Yeah, that's no, mayonnaise is not an instrument, Patrick. All right. Well, Sean, thank you so much for being on the podcast, man. I really appreciate you taking the time. You are somebody who I look forward to watching their work and hopefully collaborating with later in the future. Until next time, Buffalo, I'm Brian Dudeman, co-host.
Ari Nicole.
And we just have one question for you, Buffalo. 1, 2, 3. You
up?
up?